Hello everyone, this is Ethan. I'm one of the hosts of Style and Direction, a mentor podcast about the stuffiness. I'm saying this because I don't think we actually introduce ourselves, and by ourselves I mean Ethan and Spencer, in the podcast proper. But hi, I just want to let you know that this is our last episode of Q1 of 2022. That means we're taking a break for the month of April, which means there's no new episodes other than our bonus ones available fully for our patrons. But we'll be back with our regular bi-weekly episodes in May. This is because every 3 months we take a break on the 4th month. So just kind of like a quarter system here that we use to take a break and kind of reevaluate our lives and everything and look at our closets. But again, if you want to keep up with us, definitely go to patreon.com/styleanddirection. Contributing gives you access to our Discord, where we're more active. Actually, we're active there every single day, and we still stream live from there. You can catch us on twitch.tv/styleanddirection once or twice a week, where we talk about menswear and play some games and talk about submissions that we get of outfits. But yeah, we'll see you guys after this episode. We'll see you guys in May. But I hope you enjoy this one. This one's all about outfit repeating and kind of how we create outfits and what we consider to be new outfits and, where we put our effort and everything. And the answer is always, it's up to you. But hey, I won't spoil it for any further. Let's start the episode. MJ, let's roll it. Hello, baby. I am Peeping Tom. I'm doing the whole we gotta go over the social wall from
what
the earliest show
from the
earliest show.
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah, that's kind of like lore for maybe not sad heads, but like Ethan, Spencer, and MJ, where they have 1 hour. I mean, we kind of talked about it in Discord. I think someone else had seen it too, but like the 1 hour of bloopers they have from that is really good.
A lot of bloopers, a lot of bloopies.
Yeah.
He's Sonic, you know.
That's right. He's you're never gonna get my powers. That's my impression of Sonic.
I still haven't seen the Sonic movie. I really love the video where he's on Larry King and Larry King's trying to get him to do the voice and he says he can't do it, but then the movie came out and it's just his regular voice. He's not even doing
that's the joke, I think, right?
I feel like I don't know. He was like,
Ben
the studio
Schwartz
doesn't want me to do it.
Oh. Well, I mean,
I don't know. I feel like studios are weird about shit like that now.
Well,
I could see I could see them saying you can't do the voice, even if it's just your regular voice.
Speaking of voices, I was watching like a interview with The Voice, with Colin Farrell on like James Corden, and he's talking about like how, the suit that he wore as the Penguin in the new Batman film was like, it's great prosthetics or whatever, kind of like a Jared Leto thing where like they could have gotten anyone else to do it, honestly.
Yeah.
But like
what if he was doing the Jared Leto Paulo voice?
How could you, Batman?
I'm the Penguin.
This is my criminal operation. It's me. But no, he said that he like walked over to get coffee, and he did like a little bit of the Penguin voice, like, yeah, give me a coffee over here, or whatever. He's like doing like a bad guy voice, but then he like caught himself, and he was like, oh shit, and I thought he was like, oh, I don't want to like, just do a whole bit. But like someone said, oh, what if he wasn't allowed to do the Penguin voice? But I'm like, what's the big deal? Like, it's not like yeah.
Does he talk in the trailer? Doesn't he say it's like, I got you, Batman?
Yeah, it's that one where he's like, he escapes in the trailer. He's like, I got you, yeah. Batman. And then of course the Batman like comes out of the flames and he's like, oh fuck.
That's the thing about Batman villains is they never got the Batman. No matter how many times they think you get the Batman, he will get you. Go see Batman now in theaters.
Yeah, isn't it the opposite though, where like the Batman actually like kills the Joker? No, wait, Batman like kills someone, and I think it like ruins him. I think.
Oh, in this one?
No, not in this one. I meant like in like the comic
real
lore.
life.
I'm sure that's happened where like he doesn't like
the real life Batman killed a guy.
Yeah, if Elon Musk, he could be the Batman if he wanted to.
He could be the real life Iron Man. The way he's inventing so many robots.
He could be Superior Iron Man.
Yeah. He could be Ultron or whatever.
I feel like, everyone always says that, like, oh yeah, he could, like, no, these are the people who would literally create Ultron. Like, these are like those people.
They saw the movie and they're like, okay, so we just have to make James Spader not evil. That's
or it's
easy.
Like, it's like, yeah, I just don't have to call it Skynet. I can call it Legion or something different. But the thing is, with Terminator, is that every version of it becomes a version of Skynet, no matter what happens.
And it's Matt Smith. There's a building that I drive by occasionally that says Skynet on the outside, and I want to firebomb it. Yeah. I'm gonna burn it down for the good of humanity.
Yeah, I'm gonna name my son Sheev Palpatine. He could totally be normal, you know.
Yeah, I'm gonna kill that kid.
Stop! Yeah, save the Republic.
If you name your kid Sheev Palpatine, I'm coming for you.
Yeah, if you name your kid Adolf Hitler, I wanna.
Do you think there was anyone? Do you think there was anyone who saw, like, you know how like people name their kid like Daenerys or whatever? I'm not a Game of Thrones guy, and then she like burned everybody in the town with their dragon. Do you think there was anybody who saw like the monkey man Palpatine in his first appearance was like, oh, maybe this guy's kind of cool, and named their kid Sheev, and then the next one came out and he was all evil, and they're like, fuck, can't believe I named my kid after this evil guy.
Yeah,
and not this monkey man, this monkey eyeball hologram.
Yeah. Man, I should name
everybody go look up the first appearance of Palpatine. It's kind of fun.
Episode 5, where it's a top half of a chimpanzee with a bottom half of a woman, and then the voice actor is some random British guy. Yeah. And then they hired Ian McDermott, and who's like a 30-year-old stage actor. He's like, I'm gonna fucking own this role real quick here. I'm afraid the deflector shield will be quite operational when your friends arrive.
We're going on too long on the. We're getting lost. Lost. Yeah, we're just talking about Star Wars trivia now. We needed to get into the episode.
Again, if you're gonna listen to this episode and you listen to like 2023, you're gonna hear like the devolution of like the podcast because we've run out of menswear to talk about.
Yeah, it's gonna be fully a Star Wars trivia podcast.
Yeah, Star Wars, random movies and TV shows. You're gonna love it. That's the real sad core here. It's just my way of getting everyone into the same pop culture that I like. But speaking of the same pop culture that I like, there we go. We're going to talk about outfits, uniforms, and outfit repeating. And this is something that is obviously inspired by our Discord our conversations with our Patreon. If you guys want to contribute to that, patreon.com/sounddirection. You guys could literally get me riled up about something that will become a podcast topic.
You got to get them riled up first, though. That's it's the important part.
Yeah. So this is inspired by many conversations I've had in the Discord, again, like I said, about how I don't repeat outfits. It's something that I don't know if we've ever like fully talked about it. I think I've always said like, oh, be intentional, don't default into anything. But I don't think I've ever like outright said on the podcast or the blog, at least, I'm like, oh, I really don't like recreate outfits or repeat them or whatever. It's weird. I know it's weird. I feel like it's a thing that comes with being Ethan.
I mean, I think part of it is because you also take photos of yourself.
That is the difference. Yes. Day. Yeah. That's the one.
So you don't. Yeah. I mean, if you're trying to build up content, you don't. It's like when Daniel Radcliffe did that thing where he wore like the same outfit every day for 6 months. So all the paparazzi photos were useless. You don't want to do that to yourself.
I want paparazzi. Is what
you're your own paparazzi, and you're also Daniel Radcliffe.
I mean, didn't I say that with cinematic dressing? Like, you're the actor and the director and the screenwriter all at once. So you're
but this time I'm saying you're the paparazzi. You're the scumbag paparazzi, actor who doesn't want to be photographed. It's all you.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the answer for that is just being an influencer, right? Like, you want to document. I prefer the term self-documentarian. Thank you very much. You can quote me on that. Okay, but yeah, I know. Thank you. I know that you don't really outfit repeat. But I do think it's interesting because I do invoke this where I'm like, oh, I'm coming. So like, really, I know sometimes you're like, oh, I got to wear a different outfit because Ethan's going to take some pictures.
Yeah.
You know?
Because I mean, like, you know, this is another thing we'll get into, but you and I also just, I guess, have different, I guess a little bit of spoiler. You don't photograph your outfit every day.
Yeah, that's true. That's right.
We do have a slightly different approach to getting dressed in the morning, but we're jumping ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, that's right. That's why this here. Yeah, while this is about outfit repeating, it's impossible not to get into the concept of like uniforms, personal uniforms, you know, character
how
tropes,
you put together,
and how you put how you put together outfits,
which is, I think, a theme of the last several episodes.
Yeah, exactly. And I think something that also makes us different too is I have a backlog of outfits. It's like when do you actually put them together is kind of a big thing as
Hmm.
well, you know. But let's start here. So, what do you think makes an original outfit, or is that something that is that even what you think of? You
I mean,
know.
like when we were talking about this earlier, it's kind of a tough concept because like um you could say an original outfit is something that like when not all of the pieces have been worn in that exact combination before.
That's right.
But that could still be like you're wearing the same suit, wearing the same shirt, tie, but just maybe with a different pair of shoes or different pair of socks. And I mean, in that case, I think you could say, well, that's pretty much the same outfit.
See,
Um,
I will say there though, like I mean, when we wrote down the outline to this, I did say socks, but like, what if you wore like the same shirt and suit combination but different tie, or like you have the same outfit but you add a sweater on top, or add an overcoat or something, like
yeah.
at what point does a heap become a pile or whatever, like,
Hmm.
and when do you take something out of it? It is a hard concept again because it's like there's also that idea of like, oh, if you got it from someone else, but maybe we'll talk about that in a future episode about
Oh
where you
yeah,
get
like you're just
inspiration.
it's new. It's new on your body, but not new on someone else's body.
Yeah. How about the
The
bodies
new
exhibit
bodies.
at California Science Center or
I'm
whatever?
dude. I went there and I straight up stole all the outfits of the bodies. I just took off all
Oh,
my skin.
yeah, you put on the muscles and
I
the
put on the
tendons.
muscles. Yeah.
Well, last time I was at the bodies exhibit, I actually killed a guy who was trying to give a bomb to someone in Miami. Um, and then I had to stop the bomb guy, Ellipsis. This is a Casino Royale reference because
Yeah.
they go to the
It's
bodies
funny
exhibit.
that I forgot that that's a set piece and that they go to the bodies exhibit.
Yeah, in
Man,
Miami. Also, it's like, is it like really late or something? Because it's like,
is it like a nighttime bodies
well,
exhibit? That
remember
sounds like the scariest time
it's
to
the
go.
same night. It's the same night that he plays poker, steals the car, almost fucks that guy's wife. The guy goes to Miami. He follows him, goes to the exhibit, kills him, takes the key, then goes to Miami International Airport back for the whole thing. This is like midnight, dude. Like, unless
What
it
do you
starts earlier.
What do you think happens to the bodies exhibit at the in the Night at the Museum universe? Like, what if
They
the
scream in agony.
yeah, like what if the what is it the like is it like a scepter or a tablet or something
Yeah, it's the
of
tablet of
Amun
Akhmun
Ra?
Ra. Amun
Akhmun
Ra or
Ra.
Akhmun Ra? I forgot.
I think Amun Ra is the sun god, but Akhmun Ra is that a
Is
pharaoh?
that yeah, I think so.
Okay,
Yeah.
I could be getting. I'm not in it. I'm
Larry
Egyptologist.
Daly, I've come back to life. Remember that?
Yeah, sure do.
I don't get this. Are you a robot? Are you a man? What are you? I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't
he's doing the
understand.
Boris Karloff
my,
voice.
my Boris Karloff impression with a bit extra lisp. Shout
Yeah.
out to fuck Hank Azaria. That's his name.
Fuck Hank Azaria.
He's hot, dude. I think I said that like in another episode too. But yeah, I don't really think too much about like original outfits. I think it just naturally happens to me, which also we'll get into how we make this stuff. So for me, I think what I think about is I definitely recognize I have a similar vibe across my outfits, but the actual pieces that make them are different. And I know before I get further, I want to say that this is inspired a lot by film scores and composing music, where like you can have a style, like John Williams has a style, but if you put the notes down specifically, they are different. Like again, talking music, like the literal musical notes. You could say that like the Force theme or whatever has like, oh, he played on piano here, you're playing French horn, yeah, that's different. But I'm talking about like a theme could actually be different. Or like a movie where like you can have similar tropes, like Olympus Has Fallen, and I guess White House Down and Die Hard, but they are still technically different movies as opposed to like a straight up remake. And that's kind of, again, if you think about everything in terms of pop culture, it's like that kind of idea.
Yeah, so it's Olympus Has Fallen versus White House Down, and then you got Psycho versus Gus Van Sant's shot for shot remake of Psycho.
Yeah, exactly. Or even like like the Red Dawn remake, where it's kind of like the same Middle America thing, except it's North Korea. Except it was supposed to be China, and then they dubbed it with North Korea because they were like, wait, we can't. I don't know at what point they're like, wait, we can't lose out on the Chinese. The Chinese.
Did they expect that
viewership.
movie to like sell in China though? Because wasn't that at the time when they were still only accepting like a couple? We're getting too much into
film talk.
Yeah, like production release
Or maybe they thought maybe we can get them because everyone hates North Korea. You know what I mean? Like maybe that's what they made a last minute change.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's you know, the vibes are kind of, if you want to argue that the vibes are similar, then yeah, it's a little bit the same thing. Like, I mean, we've picked, like we talked about with proportions, we've picked the mode of clothing that is very similar. Like short coats and sport coats can look the same to a lot of people.
Exactly.
Military
yeah.
chinos and everything, you know.
I like having all my pants fit exactly the same.
Yeah, but I mean, like to us as men's people, if I feel like if you're looking at all the details, then it does count as different, because like you could have like, you know, like your Gurkha chinos that are slim fit, you know, are going to be different than like your wide leg World War II ones, or they're going to be different than like the ones that you have like double pleated with side tab adjusters that are more for a suit as opposed to fatigues, you know. I
always feel like that meme that you see usually with like music genres, like, you know, like metal or vaporwave, where it's like one person looking at a thing and it's just like vaporwave, and then another person looking at it's like mall soft, like, you know, like whatever, like speed. I can't think of any other fucking vaporwave subgenres.
Speedcore.
But it's like, it's speedcore. There you go. But it's like I look in my closet, and it's the same thing where someone just says like blue shirt, but I'm like sawtooth denim shirt, chambray shirt, like denim button down shirt, chambray button down collar shirt.
If you wear that with different pants or the same pants, it's a different vibe, man. One's Western, one's milsurp. Like there's a difference, bro.
Exactly,
you know?
There's a difference, and you can't say why are you buying another blue shirt, because it's different.
Yeah, this reminds me of a girl who I mean, we got to do a dating episode where I can talk about this stuff. And she was like, Ethan, you know, like, I don't get how people call it. She's like one of those people who neg me, like where you think like negging someone is like a way to like develop tension. But I was just like, this person kind of like that. It was kind of annoying to me. But she's like, you know, Ethan, you don't really have that great of style because like you wear the same thing every day. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? And she's like, yeah, you just wear menswear. And I'm like, yeah, but like that's like oh, you're eating Italian food, yeah, but someone could be eating pizza versus pasta, man. Like it doesn't have to be like the same thing, you know. It's funny because she was like, oh, I can wear goth one day and I can be like boho one day. I'm like, yeah, but like that's still a dress. Like that's not like
I'm just wearing clothes. You're just wearing women's wear.
Yeah. And you can tell that this was not my girlfriend because this girl and I did not end up dating. But yeah, I think it's funny, like, you know, obviously it depends on how much detail and how specific of an eye you look at other people and how you look at us, because I think for us, again, if you recognize everything as tropes, if you've got Abed brain, which again, as I'm looking at Discord, I am like one of the only people who does this, you can see all the differences in what people wear. But here maybe it'll help us if we talk a little bit about like when you make the outfit, you know. And I think this comes down to like the dichotomy between like daily life, like everyday stuff, job, whatever, school, or like occasion wear, like going out, a party, you know, a job interview, a job party, party interview. You just combining them all. And I think, you know, what makes us maybe a little bit different than other people, or than most people into menswear, is that we have cinematic dressing where we have a lot of different characters that we come into. So all of these occasions, again, daily life versus special occasions, gives us opportunity to kind of become different or dress as a different character. So naturally, that makes it fresh.
Exactly. I think like, I try to I outfit repeat more often just in like day-to-day life, if I'm just going to be just going to classes or going into the newsroom or, you know, going grocery shopping or whatever. But if I'm going out, if I'm going to be hanging out with people or, you know, doing something new, I do want to have something, I don't know, like fresh or something a little bit more creative. So yeah, like having something to do, having an occasion, is, I think, good enough inspiration for putting together, a new outfit.
Right. And I think this almost maybe kind of generates the generational divide, or even like, maybe not a generational, like career divide, perhaps, you know, where if you're able to kind of make occasions for yourself, which was what we kind of alluded to when we talked about like the world building aspect of cinematic dressing, it definitely opens yourself up to more creative opportunities, right? Like if you have to go to the same place for work every day, and you have a dress code or there's expectations, yeah, it's kind of hard to kind of, you don't want to push any boundaries there because maybe you'll be sent home to change, as opposed to say, okay, maybe you're a freelance guy. And like, so
Mm-hmm.
you have this opportunity, okay, maybe you'll work from a different cafe each day, or you'll go to your friend's house, you'll go to the library, and like, okay, maybe you want to dress conducive for those situations, or you want to dress for what your character would wear to those places, or the character that you pick. And that kind of resonates with me a little bit more, where I kind of create opportunities for myself, or I don't go out of my way to do it, but like I already have trivia each week, for example.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a fun way where, like, again, I'll post the pictures in my recap essay, not for this one, but like the other one with like all the hangouts I've done. I think it's fun to have like everyone come in to trivia wearing like a different outfit each week, because it's like a thing where we're all just hanging out. It's a bar. We've all been there. People know us, or at least they know me, and they already know me. I'm like the guy wearing a suit, almost every time I'm there. So it kind of gives a little bit of freedom to who you want to be. So it's kind of like, okay, what do I want to wear at trivia this night, or like when I see Spencer, it's it's not all the time because we live far apart and we all have our jobs now, but it's like, okay, maybe next time I see Spencer, maybe it's like a suit time when I see Spencer, or then it's like a workwear time the next time I see it. So like creating these occasions again gives you that
The framework.
the framework or the inspiration to kind of be creative. And even when it's like a regular day for me, like I try not to work from home too much. Some days I do it and I'll wear something. I wear like dandy outfits when I'm at home because it's like there's nothing happening here. And then when I go out, I try and like, okay, I'll do like a more restrained look, or I'll wear jeans instead. Like, there are maybe not pieces, but I have vibes or characters that I attribute to certain places that kind of help me decide who to be. And because I have so many of them, again, it makes it hard to outfit repeat because of how different it is.
I like how you say that you do your more dandy outfits if you're just staying at home, because I really like I enjoy doing the kind of like dad, like jeans or sport shirt with like raw hem jeans and loafers kind of thing when I'm at home. Like I think it's like a comfortable outfit. I think it looks cool. Like I kind of enjoy if I'm just at home. It's like, hey, this is my relaxing, but I could still get shit done kind of outfit,
That's kind of, I guess I kind of go both ways. I think it's like, again, all I think of is the fact that I've always kind of worked by myself, and so like if I'm gonna see other people, maybe I try and dress conducive to them. It's not that like it's like more of a thing where I don't want someone to feel weird that I'm wearing a bow tie. And I remember the classic story where to work I wore a peak lapel jacket, club collar shirt, and bow tie, and I loved it. And Spencer at like 4:00 goes, "Hey, after this, we're gonna go to a bar in UCLA to hang out with Jay's friends. Do you want to come?" And I'm like, "I am going home because I do not want to be that guy." And there's something wrong. I mean, maybe now I could have done it, but probably now I probably wouldn't wear a bow tie with a peak lapel jacket, But it's one of those things where, I like to, some outfits I wear purely just for me, which is kind of fun. Like it's kind of a personal creative endeavor versus like, okay, I want to be, in someone else's world, it's really tough. Like, I don't know. Like, I think like I wear more suits at home, but then I'll also wear suits when I go out. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think, but are you wearing them differently at home versus when you're going out?
Yeah, maybe a little bit there. But I think lately, as I've been kind of going to the bar, I kind of like the idea of like, okay, I'm going to wear like a full suit to the bar. Like before, when I go to trivia night, I would just wear like, if I was wearing a suit, it would be like a denim shirt and like a tie. But then now it's like, okay, I don't feel bad if I'm wearing like a spear point and like a foulard to the bar, because I'm like, maybe I can lean into it a little bit more now. And the thing is with all of this stuff, things change. This is not like it's not a coherent mindset, or we don't wear the same vibes for the same places all the time,
I think I mean, it's like even though we maintain, I mean, go back to the archiving episode, even though we maintain like a lot of the same clothes for like years and years, and I think our style for the last couple of years has remained consistent, you could definitely see we have like, I don't know, moods or waves or whatever that
we contextualize certain things,
Yeah, I think we're also, of course, not immune to like larger trends in the menswear world. So I think
it keeps things fresh too, to kind of look at that as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of fun again to develop these like new characters, right? Like I think like if I wore, so if you watch our stream a month ago because that's before this comes out. But like we talked about like the batik stuff from J Press, and it's like if I wore that, like if I bought that, I don't have that before, right? And so the new way is like, oh, kind of reminds me of like the Noah stuff, right? Like the floral double knees. It's like my way of doing that look, and then now it unlocks like that whole idea of like the Noah AL decor that I could maybe allude to with like what I have like 501s and like work pants, but now that's like more in that world, and so it adds a new dimension to my clothing. And so like whenever you buy new things or start to appreciate new genres, again, it makes it hard not to not outfit repeat. Oh no, it makes it hard to outfit repeat because of the fact that you're just kind of coming up with new ideas, and we'll get into how new pieces play into everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I think it's, I think I recognize I definitely have characters for certain things. Like for me, Ivy Trad, Esquire Man is kind of good for like, again, staying at home. That's what I mean by dandy, kind of a bit more tailored, And I wear that like at home or like when I like do something kind of small, like I'll go get boba wearing that kind of stuff. But if I'm going to like actively like, work at a cafe for like 3 or 4 hours, like a majority of my day, I'll definitely I'll do like Ivy Trad with like slimmer pants, I'll do like my jeans or like my J Crew 5 pocket cords versus like a full pleated trouser, I'll do something a little bit more palatable, and it's not that I don't like it because it reminds me of Drake, so it's like it lets me go, okay, if I feel like doing Drake's instead of Esquire Man, I'll do that for that particular day, or if I do like 70s stuff, I'll do like open collar, I'll do that for like a going out thing, a date night versus like staying at home, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I think I have one main character, and it's just like 20th century Americana guy.
Sure.
And it's like, yeah, I mean, it's like how I build most of my outfits is just, I mean, because it's like, again, like I'm limited by the wardrobe that I have, and so it's just built on like Ivy or Milsurp or workwear, just Americana pieces from like the 30s to the like 60s or 70s. And I think you could see the through line between the casual outfits that I put together and the the sport coat or suit outfits that I put together. I mean, I have like one suit, but
right.
The sport coat outfits, you could still see the through line there.
Right. And I think even then, like with our wardrobes as well, like you can kind of take one thing across multiple outfits, right?
Yeah,
Like
course.
like one shirt. So like it kind of, again, it makes it fresh every time you wear it. It doesn't have to be worn the same way. But here's something that is interesting. I guess I didn't write this down, but this is a good point here. When do you like actually repeat the outfit? Like I get the idea of like making something new, but like when do you like go, okay, that was really good.
Yeah.
When do I do it again? When do you rely on something that you've done?
Since I don't have to photograph my clothing every day like you,
I don't have to, but I do it.
I mean, you don't have to, but you still do.
Yeah,
so, but anyway, if I only see one group of people, or if no one really sees me that day, I will definitely start thinking, it's like, okay, this is maybe like a dry run or a test run, and I really like this, so it's like I want more people to see it, or I'll wear it again, when I'm seeing you, so I can actually get it photographed. But this happened like a couple weeks ago where like I wore something, and then I'm like, okay, maybe I'll try to change it up, and I'll put on like different shoes. And I tried it on with a pair of different shoes, and it just didn't work. Like I tried it on with like split toes versus loafers. And so I was like, no, this doesn't look as good as when I wore it the other day, so I'm just going to go back to like exactly the same combination.
So it's less about, so it sounds like it's more about like, in pursuit of the perfect version of this outfit. As opposed to say, well, a lot of people go like, oh, that's like the best I've ever looked, I'm going to do that again, which I'm going to get into that in a second. But like, yeah, I think it's interesting that you like, you're like modulate, like you're again, trying modulations and stuff until you get there. But okay, say you got there. Do you like add that to your arsenal? Like, okay, like, well, from the future, do I repeat this?
I like think like maybe I'll like think about it, like, because I don't have like a running tally, because like I have like just I don't know, I have a pretty cohesive wardrobe where like most things just kind of work together. But like if I like need something quick in the morning, because again, we'll get into more specifically how we get dressed, but I tend to like put stuff together like in the morning after I shower. That's when I start thinking about my outfit.
Oh, I'll get into this in a second too.
Yeah, but yeah, if I like see one of the specific pieces for that outfit or whatever, then it might trigger something in my brain. It's like, oh yeah, this is a good combo. And if I, need something quick, or if I'm
But
like in a rush, then I'll do that.
do you find that you repeat stuff then? Like when you're like, okay, well that worked with this already, or is it always? Do you think it's like more new?
I don't know. I try to, even though like a lot of my stuff is similar, and I'm sure again I repeat outfits when I wear like a sawtooth and jungle jacket, whatever.
Yeah.
Which I do like once every 2 weeks probably, but
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't like consciously think it's like, okay, this outfit from 3 weeks ago, like I'm gonna like put that on today. It's just I think it's more spontaneous when it does happen.
Yeah, see, I guess my thing is it's never spontaneous because of the backlog that I have, and I'll get into that later on, but I think, when I create outfits, I am not in pursuit of like the perfect version of that thing. I think each one is so unique, and maybe that's because like I'm very conscious of the repeating, so I don't like keep a tally of like, okay, well that worked together this day, so how do I change it for the next time I wear it? I think it's always, and the thing is, I'm sure you'll see in the show notes, there's a lot of similar stuff, whether it's a vibe or maybe it is larger similar. Like the idea is they're like brown suit with turtleneck could be done a lot of different ways, but it could be DB versus SB, and even with SB, is it cotton, is it wool, whatever, etc. Is it Ivy inspired? What shoes are you wearing with white socks and loafers? Doing it with Chelsea boots for like a 60s look, and that's kind of how I think about it more. It's not really like I don't really think of it as like, again, a tally of like, okay, well, black turtleneck and brown suit is a winning combination, so I gotta wear that all the time. It's more so like when I get inspired to it, it comes up, but each time it comes back to me, the inspiration or the background is different. Like, okay, it is with a 60s mindset, or it's going to be with an Esquire man mindset, So to me, at least, that's what makes it different. I don't think that there is like one outfit that kind of encapsulates all of me, which kind of goes like to the uniform idea. Like, I don't like I like a lot of different things. I think there's like a typical Ethan idea for each of those pieces, where like my milsurp tends to incorporate maybe a little bit more of like an Ivy lean as opposed to being straight up like military. And my stuff is maybe a little bit more cleaner than yours, for example. Just like my suit and tie looks are probably a lot more formal than your suit and tie looks. Like I think that's an aspect there, but there is not like one outfit that's like that's the entire idea of Ethan. So I never like go back to it. I never am like, oh, I need to like, even if I was being photographed for a magazine, which we literally just were, I actually think that you and I wore stuff that we haven't really worn together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it still feels like us.
That was a definitely new combo for me, but yeah, I think it fits in with my 20th century Americana guy.
Yeah, and mine kind of worked with this like vintage 40s like English Ivy inspired guy, I mean, I think I definitely played up the vintageness of it with the Fair Isle sweater vest, because otherwise it would just look like regular menswear,
Yeah.
But I was conscious of that idea of like, being Ethan and being photographed in like whatever the uniform is, and the idea of the uniform could just again be a character vibe you're stepping into that has these parameters, but it doesn't have to be a set combination together. Like I didn't feel the need to like put anything that I had done before. Again, if this was like a GQ shoot where like it's a profile on me where this is like the defining moment of my menswear career where I'm getting this whole thing, maybe then I would have to go back and go, okay, wait, what's the
best of?
What's the best of? Or maybe not even that. Maybe it's not even that I think of best of. I think it's more of like what encapsulates my idea of me altogether. And the thing is, and we'll get into this. I keep saying this, but maybe we're always just kind of moving around here. But we're always buying new things. We're always acquiring stuff. It doesn't have to be big. It could be like a new tie. And sometimes it's like, oh, maybe that tie kind of fits the mood of where I am at this moment. And the reason why I don't outfit repeat, and this is not on the notes. This is all happening off the dome here.
It's the
but
brain.
Like if we're buying clothes, maybe that mood is indicative of the best version of who you are at that time. So for me, it's like, I might buy like when I originally wasn't into paisley ties as much until I got the 40th anniversary Drake's tie. Remember that one from like 3 years ago? And that tie to me is so iconic. I love Drake's and I love how it looks on me that I've worn it with like a DB suit. And normally I don't wear like before I didn't really wear like solid suit with like solid shirt and then like a fun tie. But then I did, and it's like, okay, well, yeah, everyone thinks of Ethan wearing, brown plaid jacket and gray pants and striped shirt, foulard tie, but the paisley tie also feels like me, kind of a bit more somber. why can't that be me as well? So even again, even if it was like the biggest event, if it was like my wedding or I was sitting for a portrait, I actually feel that whatever I felt to make in that moment, or in preparation of that moment, is the best version of who I want to be at that time. Yeah. And tomorrow could be another one. So like, again, these ideas of creating outfits, it's not about like regressing. It's more so like I'm in pursuit of the next version of me, not in terms of like the specific combination, but of just whatever I happen to be deciding in that moment. So it is spontaneous in the general idea, but of course,
in the grand scheme of things.
But of course, when it comes down to planning of it, I'm like, okay, I like this outfit. I'm going to put this together, you know?
Yeah.
So I guess I never really rely on what I've done, but in the grand scheme of things, yeah, you could probably think I'm already relying on it versus trying something new.
I mean, a lot of like the stuff that I repeat, or like my uniform,
yes,
if we want to start getting into that, comes from the fact that, I mean, it's like, I mean, of course I think it looks cool because I can't like work unless I think I look good. Like if I think I'm wearing like a bricked fit or something, I just get too distracted by that. So it's like, it's something that I think looks cool. It's something that's practical. So what it typically is if I'm just going to be, you know, going to class, or if I'm, you know, covering something for the paper or doing interviews, whatever, what I like to wear is like a 3-pocket jacket, like a short coat. I have like a couple of those, and like OCBD or spear point, and then tucked into some like casual pants, so like jeans or chinos, or something like that, and then some just like comfortable leather shoes. I like it because it's like I said, I like genuinely think it looks cool. Like I look in the mirror and I'm like, hell yeah. I like, you know, it's like very practical. It's something that you can like walk around in, and it has a lot of pockets, and it's like pretty presentable, not too like out there, so it doesn't get distracting if you're doing interviews and stuff like that.
Right.
And you could like approach anyone and they're like, hey, this guy's professional. So to me, that's where kind of the uniform, that's where like my day-to-day, like, you know, out there doing work uniform comes from. That's like the reasoning behind it. And so it's not like I put something on and I'm like, oh, this looks so good that I have to like put it together. It's just like a combination that I keep coming to because it's like, you know, practical and comfortable. And inevitably I'll end up re-wearing some of the same stuff because I only have so many, you know, short coats and casual pants and spear points.
Yeah. See, so this is where, you know, I immediately differ. Maybe not in terms of philosophy. I like the idea of like, you know, something that you can rely on. But again, my reliance, like I said, is very general. Like, again, plaid jacket and gray pants, like that could be anything. I have like variations of gray pants and variations of plaid jackets, but I know it's a tried and true combination, if not like a general idea of what that uniform is. And I have that, but for everything. So it's like I have that with like certain ties. Like I know certain ties go with certain shirts. You know, I can wear a tie with that. I mean, you could wear a paisley tie with a work shirt, but I don't feel like that doesn't really go as well as like say a plain tie, a wool tie, or a rep stripe tie. You know, so I can rely on that idea, and those in turn inform character tropes like who I want to be. You know, like again, a work shirt and a rep tie can feel kind of like Ivy inspired, whereas like a paisley tie and like a OCBD feels like 70s Ivy to me. You know, and so I don't think, because I'm like, I have so much control and so much freedom that I alluded to in the cinematic dressing, where like I can do whatever I want. It is fun to like have all of these characters kind of just come out whenever I feel like I want them to. And they are still practical. Like we talked about how like practical, like a sport coat is still practical. Like for my purposes, like I'm not really going out anywhere. I would do all my work on my computer. I don't really have to have like, you know, a notepad and paper on me, so I don't really have to move around. But for my purposes, like it is all practical. Like I can do whatever I want in whatever I'm wearing, you know, bar airsoft or something.
I mean, if I had more sport coats, sport coats. I mean, that's a 3-pocket jacket to me.
No, yeah, exactly.
Depending on what I'm covering, I will swap the like chore coat for a blazer or something.
I mean, there's that idea, right, where like ideally we would love to have multiple outfit changes a day, right? Like what you wear for the home thing and what you wear to the bar and what you wear to like the thing, you know.
I mean, something that I'll get into is like I'm an admitted outfit repeater, but if I had like if
more
money
clothes
and space wasn't an issue.
I got a point to that.
I had more clothes, I would definitely be more on the never repeat outfits train.
Well, I think what's unique for me at this stage of life is like, I'm younger. I've been blessed to like be able to, buy some stuff I've always liked. Before, whether it's thrifting or we're saving up, but then now again, no context and making more money than I've had like than college or whatever, or even when I worked in retail. It's menswear is kind of like defined by its like aspect of like upgrading and alternatives, right? And that's kind of like, and if you think about things in terms of like differences, it's hard to outfit repeat in that sense, right? Like, maybe you could say that, you could, I've definitely worn a navy jacket with H&M chinos. And me doing that now with like a fuller cut Drake's jacket and military chinos. Yeah, you could say I'm outfit repeating, sure, whatever. But like, it's still so different,
Yeah.
And I think that to me, it feels new because, not just the proportions, but because it feels closer in what I envisioned for myself. And to go back to it too, like I am not defined just by navy jacket and khaki pants. I'm defined by a lot of other things there as well. And so I'm lucky to be in this position where like now I've had a lot of clothes. I've been able to make things custom that like, I'm kind of there where I am afforded the ability to kind of wear new things and new combinations instead of being limited. Again, this could all change if I had to like move to New York or something, or I outgrew some pieces, etc. So it is tough.
Hey, like our friend Kyoshi in the Discord, he's having to put together a capsule wardrobe for the next couple months to while he's living in New York. I think that would be a fun experiment for you to have to do at some point.
I would unalive myself. No, I think it's funny because like I love visiting places, I love traveling, but I don't want to be photographed because I'm like, this is not me. This is not who I am. No paparazzi.
Ethan.
Yeah, this is capsule Ethan. But yeah, to go back what you're saying about uniforms, I think for me, because of how much variety and again my whole background in composing music and knowing what counts as like, I think it's fun to like, to look up plagiarism and like where people contribute samples. On TikTok, I follow a couple of people who like break down like the music lawsuits, which are kind of fun. Like, oh, what actually counted, So I'm very focused on those kind of things. So to me, the specific combination of pre-approved items that I've made for myself counts as outfit repeating. Like, again, it's not just navy suit. It's like the Crisper suit with the spear point Bengal stripe with the 50s Tyrolean tie that's like abstract pattern. Like I will never wear that again, but I could maybe wear like Ascot Chang suit with reverse stripe OCBD with like a silver rep stripe tie, which is similar in vibe, but again the pieces are different. I don't count that as outfit repeating. I could count that as vibe repeating. Maybe that's the name of this whole thing.
Vibe repeating. This is called vibe.
Yeah. But I think it's, this idea of control is something that, JTR has brought up to me, which maybe, I don't know if it's unique to me, but I wore uniforms for 12 years, K through 12, basically. And it was the same thing because my school, again, you weren't allowed to get alternatives. It wasn't like, oh, blue polo shirt with khakis. It was, no, you have to wear the blue shirt with this logo and these khakis. If not, we will tell your parents you'll get in trouble. I'm sure it wasn't that big of a deal, but as a kid, Asian Americans, we talk about in the pre-episode, we're like, you don't want to make waves, you don't want to get in trouble, you want to, model suits and stuff. I had to wear the same thing. And then when they said, okay, well, now those logos are outdated, you got to buy the new logos, which I feel like is kind of an attack on poor kids, to force them to wear stuff.
Come on, guys.
But I was like, okay, well, I got to do it. I got to follow the rules here. And that left only weekends for me to wear what I want. But Seventh-day Adventists, Saturday, you got to wear suits. And Seventh-day Adventists are very conservative, so you had to wear a suit. So, and that left Sunday to wear my fun Star Wars t-shirts or my gas mask t-shirt that I really like that I've alluded to. And so when I was able to kind of break out of that, it was like, well, I want to have the most control over what I'm wearing. And that I'm definitely sure psychologically that is why I'm like, okay, if I have any amount of control, I'm gonna make sure it's like something maybe not new but very intentional. And to your point about like, what you wear at home, like if you want to count pajamas, that's the same thing. I wear white undershirts with my suits or my button-up shirts, so I wear that as pajamas and then my gym shorts. Like that's not Ethan. That's like home. I mean, like. Yeah, that is pre-shower Ethan.
Yeah.
And not to get into this later, but there are days where I don't dress up. And that's, if I have a day where I am so busy, whether it's working, writing, whatever, where I literally can't take a shower till like after I eat lunch, what's the fucking point, man? Like, there's just like, I'm not going to be smelly in my clothes, number one. And I'm not going to wear an outfit for 2 hours just to change back into pajamas if I'm going to stay home and, do a stream or play video games or watch, like, have dinner with my family or something. What's the point? So for me, like, if you're going to put clothes on, like outfits, there's got to be choices behind it. And more often than not, I am inspired by so many things that I just never really outfit repeat.
Yeah.
In specific
well, I
combinations.
mean, I'll say that I never spend the day just in PJs.
Okay, we get it. You're cool.
Yeah, look at me. I always take a shower.
Yeah.
But I definitely do have like my version of at home Spencer isn't just like because I also don't feel like when I'm wearing my Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Man Tell No Tales t-shirt and sweatpants like I am right now.
You have a shirt?
I have a shirt that says Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Man Tell No Tales.
That's actually pretty hilarious.
Fan event, El Capitan Theater. I didn't actually go to this, but a friend's mom went to it and bought me the shirt.
I love it. I love it. That's awesome. That's so great.
This movie came out in 2017. That seems later than I remember. But anyway, what was anyway, so at home Spencer isn't like this isn't like the sweatpants and the Pirates of the Caribbean t-shirt. It's like one of my, it's like an OCBD with jeans and loafers, like kind of just like an easy like dad look or whatever.
Yeah,
but
it's still a character you're stepping into when you're doing
it's still
that
a character
version.
I'm stepping into, and it's like if I have to step outside to get the mail, or if I need to like even like I'm we just moved in, so there's still a bunch of shit that we're like hanging up and like doing.
Yeah,
it's something that I could like build like a fucking bookcase from IKEA in, or like hang up a painting, or like drill something into the wall wearing that.
This is
and
so
it's,
interesting.
Like, still comfortable.
Yeah. I think what this comes down to is like comfort versus when you want to be engaged, right? And I have it written down here, like, do we consider it creative to make new outfits, or is it exhausting, or is there comfort in outfit repeating, or do you find that boring? It kind of comes down to kind of personality, I think, because something that we've talked about before is I'm always accused of like watching the same show, like I'm watching 30 Rock and everything, right, like over and over again, but what I realize is that I only watch it when I'm on autopilot, like when I'm watching, like when I'm eating lunch, right? But when I'm sitting down and watching a movie, I always try and make sure it's a new film. Like I try and like, I don't want to rewatch, like, I mean, there was one time I watched 21 Jump Street, but I was at work, so that doesn't count. But like, I watched like Drive My Car because I was like, you know what? I want some time to myself. This is a me moment here. I'm gonna watch something I've never seen before, so I can be engaged in this in this medium. And I think it's the same way with clothing, where like, okay, are you that engaged with your outfits? And I think again, because I have so much freedom, it's a conscious choice for me to go, do I want to be autopilot, stay at home, or do I want to like fully think about this outfit? And my personality that I found is I'm a very intentional person. Like, again, when I'm playing piano for church, when I'm just being asked to do it, of course, pick the best praise song that we've done before, pick the best ofs. But when I'm composing music, obviously I have to think about what's new, right? And that's like, again, a very different approach in mentality, in personality, and again ties to my whole intentional control, because it's no defaulting. When you think about it, like I'm like, if I'm gonna default, it's got to be like a super lazy day. Like, again, I'm definitely sure I've worn like an OCBD with jeans in the same it has to have happened. I'm not gonna say, I'm not gonna deny that it's never happened. Maybe I just never photographed it, so technically it's not canonized. It doesn't exist, right?
Yeah. If you don't take a photo of it, who knows?
Right. But I do think, again, I am spoiled by the fact that I have just a lot of clothes and I love a lot of things. And I take an active part, maybe more than Spencer and MJ, in kind of keeping up with menswear. Like, I think I use a Discord more than they do. And so the inspiration just kind of keeps coming. It's all,
because the other
I
thing
love it.
Is I think in the types of outfits that you wear, you just have more pieces. Like if
I was about to say, it's
for
not
the most
just
part
things.
for the most part, if I'm just wearing jeans and a shirt, or jeans, a shirt, and a jacket, there's like less you can do with that. There's like just mathematically, like there's less combinations
take
you
that,
can put
Einstein.
together with that. But if you're putting on like a layering piece, or you have a tie, or you
Scarf,
have a hat on,
hat,
or whatever,
yeah.
scarf, yeah, there's more that you can say, see, this is a new element.
Right. No, absolutely. I
Yeah.
think, and I wonder if that's something I've always. I mean, I've always been into that, like the kind of like maximalism, not in acquiring the clothes in your wardrobe, but like in what you're wearing.
Yeah.
I think I definitely have a more of a temperature tolerance than some of the other guys here. Like I definitely have worn more layers when it's hot.
I
Compared to
I've
Spencer.
been trying to. I mean, I've been like in back in high school or early college when I was wearing tweed when it was like 70 degrees, 75 degrees out, whatever. I
Yeah.
don't think I'd do that. I wouldn't do that anymore. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like trying.
I'm smarter. I mean, that's why I have balloon, right? Like I have like linen and
Yeah,
shit. So
I'm trying to be a more normal guy when it comes to that.
yeah, I mean, there was one time when I'm not gonna say his name, but one of our it was literally like July. I'm wearing hop sack and like light chinos. Spencer's wearing like a his USMC short coat, and a friend had just got his custom tweed brown sport coat that came in, and he wore it that day to hang out. And I'm like, I mean, I love it, but dude, what are you doing,
Mm,
man? Like that was crazy. Pure menswear brain right there.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, even like I'm sure that there are some times when I've repeated maybe when there's like less pieces. Like I think I've definitely done like a shorts and like a shorts and button up combination. It has to have happened somewhere, and I'm
Mm,
sure I've documented it. But here's the thing: when you have variations of it, it's technically new, right? So it's like, oh, do I like okay OCBD, right? Okay, do you wear it with like for a summer outfit? Do you wear it with tucked into your big wide Gurkha shorts, or do you do it with like the slim Banana Republic chinos for like a modern like Ivy look, right? Do you do it with white socks and penny loafers? Do you do it with espadrilles? Do you do it with sneakers? Do you wear a cap with it? And so at that point, I mean, again, maybe I'm adding more things than what a normal person would
yeah.
normally do with the outfit, but again, that's how I think about things because, I mean. I'm not going to deny I've done variations of outfits, right? Like, for example, to bring back that brown suit turtleneck outfit I talked about at the beginning here, I've actually worn that idea twice. But the first time I wore it was with a brown corduroy suit with long wings,
Mm,
a brown fedora, and a field jacket because it was really cold and it was raining. This was like back in like December or something like that. And this time for Spencer's party, I'm wearing it with a brown cotton suit, so regular twill, maybe a different sweater vest. So maybe that I haven't decided yet if I'm going to rewear the same sweater vest or not.
yeah.
But with my para boots and then no hat, no overcoat to kind of give it a more clean look, less rugged, a little bit more minimal. And I feel like that's a
Hmm.
different vibe, you know. I feel like it's totally different to me, and it's enough as a alternative. And I didn't. The funny thing is, I made it while I was on stream. I didn't even think about it as, oh, I like that idea. I'm just going to do it again in different ways. I literally made it, and it just so happened to be a variation of what
It
I've
was
done
just
before.
in the recesses of your brain,
Yeah.
in the crevices.
And if you want to call out my subconscious, then fucking Freud, then sure, everything's the same, whatever. But at least, I think to me it was like proof where I literally figured that out right before we started recording this episode. Like it was like something similar. I'm like, why does it feel familiar? Why do I feel drawn to it? And I guess, I could probably do that for a lot of things, but I think it is fun to you know, kind of be spontaneous because again, I am, I at the very least kind of just always be creating outfits because I'm always inspired. And
Yeah.
maybe the last section of this is maybe again tracing when we make the outfit because for again, Spencer, you said for you make it the day of, right?
Yeah, unless it's like a party or like, I know we're going out that weekend or whatever. And I'm like, okay, I want to make sure like, cause then it's like, I don't know if we actually talked about this, but one of the other limitations is like, of course, laundry. Like sometimes there's a combination I want to wear, but some things, like I wore it earlier that week and it's in the wash or whatever, or, I haven't ironed it. And if you're leaving in the morning, that's one of the downsides. Sometimes you don't have time to do shit like that. But yeah, so like generally I just like I put like, yeah, so if we're going out later that week, I'll be like, okay, I want to make sure that I have this shirt or this jacket, whatever, for that. But otherwise I like put together my outfit like after I get out, after I shower. So that's like, it doesn't start until like I'm like about to get dressed. Like, of course, sometimes in the morning, like I'll look through my closet and be like, oh, I want to wear like this jacket today, and so like I'll start like building it around
You
that.
pull it out so you know you're kind of in that mood.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, I'm gonna think around like how am I to build it around this jacket or this shirt, and yeah, sometimes I'll do that the night before, but generally it's not like the whole outfit.
Okay, time for Ethan to go crazy now because I'm fucking insane.
Yeah, this is Greg Turkington talking about his movie system, how he organizes his VHS tapes.
Yeah. So, I have a backlog of outfits, and now it's not like crazy. It's not like I've had it planned out, but I am reminded of the fact that when you get the syllabus, you might as well do all the homework ahead of time so you don't have to do it later. You'll never know, which also is a downside to me because then maybe I missed out on meeting that girl. I missed out on like on an anime club meet because like, no, I got to do all the homework ahead of time. So I'm definitely a planner in a sense of being prepared. I don't like to be rushed, so I will rush earlier than I have to, if that makes sense. You know, like I never want to be caught off guard, let's say. Of course, I know this stuff happens. You know, clothing is different. But for me, I'm always so inspired at every moment. And I normally work from home. I try and be outside to kind of remove this from myself. But when you're at home and you're looking at your own closet, or you're looking on Instagram, you're looking at our Discord, which has guys posting great outfits and sharing inspo that I wouldn't normally see because everyone has different taste. It's like, holy shit, that's great. I'm going to make it right now. You know, it's like you're hungry and okay, I'm not going to go, okay, well, I can't wait for eat dinner 5 hours from now. Like, fuck no, I'm going to get a snack. You know what I mean? Like you're going to go do that. And I have that freedom. Again, it's all about control. And so if I get inspired, I will literally go to my outfit and go to my closet and just pull out the outfit and make it. I could maybe be like, okay, there are some days where I know I'm like gonna enjoy that khaki suit, so I pull it out and like, okay, I'll make an outfit later. You know, or I'll pull it out so I know I want to build out an outfit out of this base piece. But you're there. It's like you're at the fridge already. Why don't you just pull it out? Why don't you just start cooking the rice now? You know. So then I'm like, okay, well, I'm holding the khaki suit. Let's put this with this tie, and oh, maybe that tie calls for this shirt. Okay, now you have the whole outfit. I'm gonna put that down I'm gonna put that down in my rack. Oh, but you know that brown suit's looking real nice too. Okay, I'll pull that out too. Okay, well then there's that turtleneck I haven't worn yet. Okay, I'm gonna put that. And that's how it happens. That's how the backlog. It just comes together. And you know, and we talk about how, you know, we dress for occasion, and I'm sure that's at the back of my mind. We're like, okay, I know that, you know, I'm doing trivia each week, or I'm gonna have a date night, or I'm gonna see Spencer that weekend. So there are some things where retroactively I assign them, because when I create the outfit, sometimes the vibes create themselves. We're like, okay, when I pull out that khaki suit, maybe the initial inspiration was I saw Taylor Cade wear a khaki suit. So I'm like, okay, it's gonna be OCBD. But maybe I'm watching, like, you know, I saw a screenshot of like All the President's Men, you know, the khaki corduroy. I'm like, okay, maybe the idea there is like wear that with, you know, a more plain tie, so it's a little bit less, you know, Esquire man. So and I'm like, okay, well, I know this week I'm gonna go to trivia, so maybe the more 70s rugged look would go good for that Tuesday, you know. And so these things start to organize themselves, and next thing you know, you've got outfits for the entire week based on what you're gonna do. And sometimes, you know, maybe I have some agnostic outfits where I'm like, okay, well, I just felt like being Esquire man, so like plaid tie with like a plain shirt with like a suit, or there's a foulard or whatever, and that's like an agnostic day. And then maybe like, oh, someone goes, let's have dinner on Thursday. So okay, oh shit, I gotta move that agnostic outfit for a more boring day, and I'll shift up something that is a little bit more suited for going out, or something that has jeans, or something that has Chelsea boots.
I know you wear agnostic outfits, but do you ever wear religious outfits or atheist outfits?
Yeah, I wear the little clerical thing, you know.
Yeah.
You know,
and then when you're an atheist, you wear nothing.
Yeah. You know, Mr. Langdon, you'd be surprised to know that clothes suit you. We gotta do an outfit. We gotta do the outfits of the Langdon trilogy.
Oh my god. Yeah, fuck the outfits of the outfit. Let's just do something else.
You don't want to talk about what's the actor's name?
I don't know. I don't know anything about the movie. I'm just assuming it's gonna be bad.
No, you don't know what it's about?
The remake?
Wait, it's a remake?
Is it? Oh, it's Dylan O'Brien, Mark Rylance. It's showing right now. Sorry, not right now, on the 17th.
Wait, is it a remake?
There's another movie called The Outfit, but this might be, I think this is different.
It
It's
showed
an
at the
English tailor who used to craft suits on London's world famous Savile Row. After personal tragedy, finds himself in Chicago operating a small tailor shop.
whose
And he
customers are
makes.
gangsters.
Okay, is this a John Wick? Is he going to be a John Wick?
Holy shit! It's 92%. We gotta watch this movie.
Okay.
We're watching this movie.
Okay.
Um,
Whatever.
you just heard us plan that thing right there. I mean, yeah. So anyway, what was I saying? I'm just like, that's how my backlog works. It's just I'm always thinking about outfits, and I retroactively or actively assign them to like things that I do, that week, or I make it happen. Like maybe I have a good outfit, like, and I go, you know what? Who wants to have like a midweek, visit to the bar? It's kind of
Yeah.
fun to instigate that. Like I think like so recently when me and Spencer hung out, when I wore recently in terms of recording time, but I wore like the cycling outfit, right? Like I knew I wanted to wear that, and it kind of just happened that I was gonna hang out with Spencer and our friend Jen and Yumna. And I'm like, okay, this is kind of a good casual outfit. I don't feel overdressed. And it kind of also, is able to use my pair of boots as well and my new Lee 101J. And I made that outfit already. It was already made, but I just pushed it to that day because it was more conducive for it. So it's good for me. I think, again, all this stuff is so internalized. But it's like I definitely make outfits that are agnostic, which I mean like more Ivy or more regular #menswear. I have outfits that are more yuppie. I have outfits that are, more vintage Esquire man. I've got outfits that are 70s and going out because my regular life is just that cool. I've got so much stuff going on that I got different occasions. So that's just why I seldom outfit repeat. And it's always, again, maybe at the end of the day when each outfit, we didn't really talk too much about when we feel like when an outfit's been consumed, maybe we can finish off with that idea. Like, when does an outfit feel done? Maybe for some people it doesn't feel like that. But for me, when it's been worn with like a good pairing, it's like, that's it, then you kind of goes on to something else. Or when it belongs to something during that week. Cause I think you said something like how, when things are at the wash, like obviously you can't do it, but I take that even further. So if I pair a tie with a shirt and I put it together as an outfit in the backlog, those are off limits. I
So
can't,
you can't use those until
it's been worn. At least until
the
it's been
backlog
worn.
is completed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there are times when I've like swapped stuff around, but it's good because it's before it's been been worn. But I try and keep myself limited to that idea. It's not if you just because you take one thing out of your one thing out of your closet doesn't make the rest of your closet a capsule wardrobe. But it is fun to be like, okay, well now I can't wear that blue reverse striped shirt, and maybe that kind of goes to the fact where nothing is really like a classic to me. Like it's all like just alternatives of each other, where like I have a reverse stripe pink shirt, so maybe does that work instead to force myself to make that work because the blue reverse stripe is technically belonging to another outfit already. So again, that idea where you refuse to like let yourself, that's like a little fun rule for me, but like refuse to let yourself kind of double dip, I should say, does make it so you don't outfit repeat, or at least doesn't repeat stuff very often.
Yeah.
Do you have any kind of fun rules for that outside of like, I mean, obviously the literal laundry limitation?
I guess like, I mean, I'm not gonna rewear anything that's been like that I've like posted on my Instagram usually. I mean,
Ooh, that's a fun
sometimes
one.
I might do something similar like I read, like I wore my double-breasted herringbone jacket with, well, no, that was actually a pretty different outfit. Like I wore it to Jay's party and I wore it with like my raw hem jeans and then cowboy boots, but then I re-wore it and I wore it with not raw hem jeans and like indie boots or something. And so it's like, okay,
Kiyoshi says it's the same picture.
I mean, it's like a, yeah, exactly. It's like a similar thing where, it's a sport coat and then a work shirt and then jeans, but it's like different enough. Like, I didn't wear the exact same thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's
Yeah.
like I'm kind of, because I've documented all my outfits, I am conscious of when this happens. And maybe if I didn't document my outfits, like you said in the beginning, Spencer, maybe I would dip in a little bit more. But there's really just no reason to do it. I think every version of my outfit is like, it's like the piece, it's the combination, but I am not defined by one thing. And so every single variation of it still counts something different. Like I would say, I've worn like a plaid sports shirt with my with my 30s houndstooth jacket with raw hem jeans and Chelsea boots. It's like a 70s rugged look. And then when I went to the to work from Boba Cafe with some side people, I wore the same jacket but with a chambray shirt, wool tie, teenage jeans, so a lot wider, and then I wore it with white socks and derbies. And I took off the tie, and so it's a little bit more 70s, but it's still a different vibe. Same jacket, it's like the same houndstooth jacket and jeans combo, but the other pieces are a little bit different. And again, to me, like again, if we take the context into account here, the base outfit was different of how I got to the outfit, so therefore the entire outfit is different. Like the narrative, I think, is different. Again, I just have a lot of clothes too, so again, I don't really get to.
That really helps.
Yeah.
I don't know how much we talked about that, but yeah, having a lot of clothes helps.
Yeah, that's just kind of, I mean, having a lot of shoes helps, having a lot of anything kind of helps, right? It's like how, if you, I remember talking about this with a similar idea with Marco and Adam about like, our indie music playlist. And we talk about how like, oh, Apple Music might suck with some selection, but I think their algorithm of like how they shuffle is better than Spotify. And Spotify is, like they said, like, it's hard because you'll get something that you've heard and you'll be like, well, I heard this already. Like, I want something new when I'm having shuffle my playlist. And Marco says, why not just have an infinite playlist we just keep adding music to? And I'm like, that's clothing, baby. Like, it's just if you're always doing stuff, And I think that's something, obviously we don't want to, promote overconsumption here. But if we take into account how at this moment in time, we still want to get like a Navy bespoke suit someday, right? That's like the ultimate thing. Does that invalidate our previous outfits with like the 30s double breasted that we've worn? No, I think it's like our way of like it's a new piece to us, and to us it creates new context and a new opportunity to make things for that particular item. I'm sure I've worn my Alan Edmonds tassel loafers that I thrifted like 5 years ago with a lot of outfits, but now the fact that they have shell cordovan tassel loafers, like, come on, that's something to kind of get into, to kind of lean into, to kind of feel different, I'm sure if I got OG 107s, I'd be like, well, that's different than M43 pants, so technically it's different,
It's a different outfit.
That's right. But overall, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with outfit repeating.
No, I don't think so. I mean, yeah, it's like, I don't know. Sometimes if something works, then it works. Like, I think we've seen people like in the Discord be, it's like, yeah, it's a great outfit. Why would I not wear it again? Like, doesn't this outfit deserve to like be seen as much as possible?
That's actually, I guess that's the last point here. So again, when does the outfit feel used up? When is it done? And what do you think, Spencer? Is it based on how many people saw it? Is it based on if it's been photographed?
I think it's the same thing. Like I said, yeah, if I post it on my Instagram, then I'm like, okay, that's enough for like that one. I mean, it's like I'll maybe I'll rewear it like a long time later, but I don't want to be like photographed in it again or whatever.
That makes sense. I think a lot of people lack that, right? Where like, we, in general, social media helps with that, not just in other people's perceptions, but with how you give yourself a framework. It's all silly, but it is kind of fun to be like, hey, well, I was photographed wearing that. I don't want to wear it again. It's like, if you were on the cover of Time magazine, would you want to have it to be the same cover of you on GQ? No, you want to dress for GQ, right? So
I was on the cover of Time magazine for the Percent of the Year 2007.
What was that?
It was the mirror one.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Thank you. Totally lost on me.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think that is fun. I think for me, because I document it, it's like if I wore it, then it's done. What I do come down to is if I made, sometimes I make really great combinations and I photograph them in my backyard, but like, oh man, a party or like again, being featured on someone else's thing is a good opportunity to wear things that I've never worn before. It's a good opportunity to kind of wear some top Ethan looks. But again, I don't think there really is a top Ethan look. I think that it constantly changes. It's maybe the top of that moment. But again, I've been featured a couple of times. Like I remember I was in that Kaiser Quarterly thing, or if you remember that one.
Yeah.
And I was in Clutch recently wearing suits, and both of those things I could have worn the best of. But I feel like a photograph in itself, or even like an outfit, is kind of like indicative of its time. It's immediately dated because of when you wore it. I don't know what philosophy thing that is. But
Oh, it's the dating philosophy.
there you go. Yeah. But it's, I think it's fun to be cemented in that moment of time in what you're wearing. And, people wear a lot of different things all the time. Like, I think I brought up Seinfeld in our notes where, like, even though, yeah, there's like a uniform for these characters, like Kramer has a look, Jerry has a look, George has a look, and you can, thanks to John Feld, listen to that episode, you can see them rewear stuff. But it's still largely different every episode, right? Like, there is something a little bit different there that I feel like is a little bit lost in modern interpretations of like outfit repeating. I think it's, people obviously don't like outfit repeating, or people don't like not outfit repeating because of how it promotes like overconsumption and this idea of like being performative. But in reality, people just do wear different variations of stuff every day. They can still wear the same shirt, like Jerry's wearing the same shirt, but like, maybe it's like a black pair of jeans and a blue jeans, maybe it's a different pair of sneakers. And again, that's enough to kind of keep episodes of Seinfeld fresh enough that at least John Feld is able to like have content all the time that shows how different everything is.
Yeah.
And
every episode.
Yeah. And maybe that's why, again, I like to hang out with people, because it's like, I feel like the outfit is complete when I get to hang out, see, go to Boba, because other people see it. It's like a warrant. It's seen by everyone other than me, which prevents it from being a purely personal endeavor. It is in terms of creation, but in terms of consumption, again, other people can see it, and that kind of makes it done. And if it's photographed, even better. When it's photographed, it's even more of a point to like not repeat those ideas. Or to at least, make it different. Because this shouldn't be like us wagging our finger at you, oh, outfit repeating, or you're being too creative, aren't you? Like, don't you have like
you're
one
being
style?
Too creative.
This should simply be like, again, with cinematic, it should be inspiring. It should be a source of fun for you. There's nothing wrong with outfit repeating.
Yeah, I think it's like, everyone has different approaches. And listen, fellas, it's all okay.
Yeah, it's all fine. I mean, the idea of like I think we all dress to our personalities, and I think like it wouldn't be surprised to know that I love composing and I love listening to the differences and analyze and like being like, well, that's the same thing here, or they're just they're just tracking that information, they're tracking that music from a previous scene for another scene, right? Like, I think I've talked about that with music, where in Pirates of the Caribbean, you can literally hear them re-edit stuff and place them in other places. And I hate it, because I'm like, why don't you just write new music?
Yeah, come on.
But like, again, it wouldn't be surprising to know that I do that, and I also apply that mentality to menswear, as opposed to other people who maybe are a little bit more loose with creativity, or at least with the idea of having something new all the time and having like a more cohesive, more concrete uniform.
Yeah.
It's all personalities. I'm crazy.
You're a crazy fucking guy.
I'm a little Rubik's Cube.
You're the nuttiest bitch on earth.
I'm the nutty professor.
I'm the nutty professor.
Is that a porn?
It could be.
Yeah.
If you want, we could make it right now.
Is there audio porn? But I'm like, wait, that's just ASMR, dude.
That would be pretty good.
Didn't we try that one? Did we say for a bonus episode we were just gonna try and do menswear ASMR?
We were gonna do an ASMR. I think we talked about that. We should. I mean, hey, I think it could be. I think it could be fun.
I don't want to give anyone a boner while they're listening to this.
Well, I mean, we'll just do like one of the haircut ones, or we'll do the tailor shop ones.
Do we have to buy? Yeah, that's just us doing a radio play of "Hello, sir, welcome to your tailoring appointment. Let me measure
I'm the
you."
outfit.
How do you do a Mark Rylance impression?
Are you a Chicago gangster?
Hopefully this was insightful for you guys, where you can kind of think about how you make outfits, and if you repeat, and if not, if you don't repeat, welcome to my club, and if you do repeat, welcome to Spencer's club. And if you
membership
and
one.
And if you want to get gas, you should go to Sam's Club. There's my joke for the day. Hope you like it. I'm here all week. And also,
tip your waitress.
That's right. Tip your waitresses. Tip your and give a tip to the informant. The movie The Informant. Okay. Remember, if you want to talk about this stuff more with us, again, I love the discussion that this led to, or that led to this opposite, led to this podcast episode. You can go to patreon.com/sounddirection. $5 a month gives you access to our Discord where we talk about this. And then if you want to give us a little bit extra, you get that. Also, you get a bonus episode. That's also for $5. But for $10, we thank you at the end of each episode. So thank you to our penis lovers. Just kidding. Thank you to our Sadcast fanatics, Austin Malott, Shane Curry, Philip Regard, Audrey Jessica, Jarrett Colian, and Henrik Wilberg. We appreciate you guys a lot. We also appreciate MJ for producing this podcast. Catch us on Twitch, catch us on YouTube if you can't catch us on Twitch. And yeah, follow us on Instagram, follow the podcast on Instagram, Style and Direction. I'm Ethan M. Wong.
I'm Spencer DSO.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
I'm going to go repeat some outfits. Just kidding. I'll never do that.
Don't you dare.